Hello and welcome to another edition of the SOS show with James Lott Jr. This is Monday, Labor Day, September 7, 2020. I cannot believe that we made it this far. I'm here. I'm James Lott Jr., your host, super organizer, and I am so glad to have these two because I've had someone from the organization on my show, Mackenzie Scott, not too long ago on the show. And I love my Chicago peeps, my Naples Chicago peeps are there, and I just think they're wonderful. I've had several on my show that are in that chapter. And I've been to Chicago many, many times, great time. But, so I'm gonna choose them first. I'll do my thanks and gratitude because they're sitting here. I'll make sure I say hi to them. Sitting to my, I think it's my left or right, depending how you're looking at this. She is one of the co-founders. They're friends. And they've known each other nearly 20 years, and then they co-founded a business 10 years ago. They celebrate 10 years in the organizing game, which I just celebrated 11. It's not easy to be an entrepreneur, but they're doing it. I was going to say both their names, because they're both here and they're wonderful. Schae Lewis and Bahar Partow. How are you guys?
Hi.
Well, actually, I'm looking at Shay's pillows. They're matching Bahar's.
You always find a way to match. That's how this friendship works.
Hey, you guys can't separate. You can be separate right now in LA and one thing, but you're still connected.
Absolutely.
Always.
I love that. So do my thanks and gratitude first. And I believe in giving thanks and always living in gratitude. It's not just a statement. I do this every day, and I meditate every morning. This is what I do. And I want to openly give thanks and gratitude to my grandson, Rylan, who had a birthday this weekend. Due to COVID, I couldn't go see him. He lives in another part of the state. But we did a phone kind of Zoom thing. He got his first phone because now he's in high school. He got his first phone. So we had to do that. I surprised and called him. And I sent presents ahead of time. So we did that through Zoom. So thank you, Zoom. I wish I had stock in Zoom. I just wish I did. We had known all this. But to my daughter and all of them, I wish I could be there. So my thanks and gratitude. He's my youngest grandchild now, because my other thanks and gratitude goes to my other daughter, who is now pregnant. So I will be a grandfather for the fourth time.
Wow, good for you.
Too young. I don't understand it. But yes, and so she just got married in May, and now she is pregnant with a boy due in February. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe I'll name it James III. I don't know. We'll see what's going on there. But I love being Papa Jamie, and so all my things of gratitude go to them, just because I get to be a grandfather, and I get to still be alive and see them and play with them. But right now with COVID, I've been separated, so I just appreciate them even more. So when we reunite in person, it'll be even better. It'll be bigger and better. And to everybody else who's also separated from their grandkids or kids, I feel you, and I have sympathy and empathy for you also. That's how it is. Ladies, how are you guys doing? How's it going? How are you surviving during this kind of strange time period? And either one can go first.
Bahar?
I love it. So I did it on purpose to see who, because you guys have been working together for so long. Saying which one will actually answer first at the same time. So I'll just say Bahar.
I'm about to talk. She could tell.
yeah.
Like that.
Well, Bahar, you go first. You tell me.
Well, I think Schae and I always joke that apparently our life was quarantine because we used to sit at a computer and work at home all the time. Granted, we both are very good at entertaining and social life, so that has been a little bit different. But as an organizer, and we are really good at rolling with the punches, and I think problem solving. So it was just a problem that, face the whole global and universe, and each of us find different ways to, solve it. And I think for me, it has been the connection with friends and everybody supporting each other. The whole fact that, it's hard and tough, but also it showed me the face of kindness in humanity and how we can all reach out and help each other and be there for each other, even if it's my neighbor texting me, do you want anything from grocery store? I'm already out here. Let me pick up something for you. To, in this situation, I'm right now in LA taking care of my aunt, to my business partner being there for me all the time, to my friends. So I think that community, that feeling of community, even we are apart, somehow together is what kept me going, actually.
And I forgot to mention, hello, folks. It's Mission2Organize. Hello, James. Hello. Tell the company. 10 years. The company. See, I got grandkids on the brain. Also, I was crazy or something. So, Schae, how are you doing during this time period?
I have to say I'm actually kind of liking quarantine. As Bahar mentioned, like I'm always on the computer anyway. That's kind of where we are at in our business right now after 10 years. We have our employees and our staff that are doing the actual, on-site work. So we're doing a lot of the like background kind of work. And so that requires a lot of time on the computer. And then my husband is a bartender. So he's had a lot, well, he's a mixologist, but
I love you, Schae. That's great. I love that. Yes,
he's had some time off lately. So we've been enjoying nature. We've been hiking and biking and kayaking and camping and just being by ourselves in nature, and something that we have never taken the time to do before. So this quarantine has allowed us to do that, which I'm very, very grateful for.
Yeah, that sounds nice. I know Chicago. I love Illinois. I love all that. So that's great. Okay, 10 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, that's good. I mean, to be an entrepreneur, it's an up and down life. It's not always easy, and and I suggest to people that's what they want to do, of course. But for both of you, I'll start with you, Bahar. Actually, what does Schae bring to the table that just really benefits your partnership?
A lot of things. I don't even know where to start with. Well, I have to say, first of all, I think our friendship brings a lot of things to this table that I really appreciate, and I always appreciated the love that we have for each other, always being the strength. But also, I love how Schae is a go-getter. Schae is a doer. We always tease Schae that there's a list for one of us somewhere that Schae wrote, which I love and adore. As much as we tease her, or I tease her about it, honestly, I love that how she keeps us on the schedule and on, I have an art background, so I'm a little bit like more of like, I'm here, I'm there, it's gonna get done. And Schae has a hospitality and like, concierge background. So she's more of like, and that's her character, but in a very fun way, like it's not the military style that I'm gonna be like, I can't do this anymore. She has her spunk and like all of that, knowledge and everything in her leadership side that she brings to the project. She loves managing people. So that's another thing that she brings to the project that I really love. So I would say, beside the fact that we both had a sense of organizing, and beside the fact that we both wanted to do something that we are good at, we also have a strength that we bring to the table that makes us stronger. And sometimes those strengths are what we are like, I don't know, I can't do this. And the other person, like, as you said, being an entrepreneur is very hard. And I think there were moments that I would look at Schae and I'd be like, why we are doing this? I'm freaking out. And Schae would be like, we be okay, we be fine. And there are moments that I was there for Schae and we are like, we got this. One thing, I think Schae has the insight of the long term, which I really like. I remember at the beginning of business, we were in 2 years or something, I was like, why it's not happening? Why things are like this? And she was like, give us time. We need to build credibility and credit. So all of that I really love and enjoy. And I would say there are also a lot of things that we have in common. A lot of time we talk about the things we don't have in common that we bring a strength. Also, the things we have in common, by overlapping each other, we just make it stronger. But those are the tricky ones. Those are the ones that gonna make or break a business. Because if you're gonna be hard-headed on something that you both are strong, that's where the issue gonna come. Another thing I always talk about, which I really enjoyed, I think we were in a year or something in a business, we got in a fight over something. And, for maybe a day we didn't talk, I don't know, we emailed or something. And then we came back to each other and we kind of collectively, both of us decided that our friendship and our love for each other is way more important, way above anything else that can come in between, as much as we love Mission2Organize. And I'm not telling there are not moments that we both want to, cut each other's head off. Right. But we always come back to that point of realizing if I'm saying something, it's because I love you and I love this business. I'm not enemy here. Or if she's something, it's coming from a place of love and place of want to do better for business. So I think that's also has been a lot, but I don't know, it's hard for me to list all of the qualities of Schae because Schae has lots of qualities that I always appreciated. And it's not only in business, it's also in friendship. So I'm very thankful for that, since we are
No,
talking about being grateful.
no, and that's great. No, I mean, that's so something. I can see there's an intermingling of friendship and business. So I mean, so Schae, I'm going to give you a question about Bahar, but same thing. Now your turn.
Hey, well, that was very humbling. Thank you so much, Bahar. Yeah, like she mentioned, we do have a lot of things in common, and things that brought us together, like even in our friendship, like drinking hot tea. Like right away, we were like, I love hot tea. Oh, I love hot tea. Yes, thank you.
I might tea too. I love tea.
But I take honey and she doesn't, just in case you were wondering.
I'm a honey person also. I love honey.
Okay, yeah. And dancing, we can cut it up on the dance floor. So those are two things we had in common and that we really bonded over in the beginning. But there's a lot of things that Bahar brings to the table that I just could not even imagine handling. She's really like the tech side of things, and I'm more the operations side of things. So as she mentioned, she has an art and photography background. And, I have like a communication, customer service, hospitality background. So Bahar is able to bring things like website design and marketing design and, oh my gosh, the website went down. What are we gonna do? And I am like freaking out. And she's like, oh, just give me 20 minutes and I'll have it back up and running, no problem.
Okay.
And like, yeah, thank goodness that we have her to be able to solve those types of problems for us, because I just don't have that capacity to do that. And that's where her strengths really lie. And who knows what our logo and our website would look like, without her expertise in design. And she has like very robust programs that she's been working with for the past 10 years, right? Yeah. And keeps educating herself on how to work them better. And obviously technology advances, and you have to catch up with it. And thankfully, I haven't had to do any of that because she does it for us. Well, so I'm very, very thankful.
Well, my thing, the reason why I bring up the differences is because also just to highlight that you guys are working well together. But I'm trying every show that I do when I have female partners, I'm trying to help dispel the myth. You know what I'm going to say? Women can't work together. Women can't work together. Women can't work together. They're just too catty and bitchy and sassy. And I'm like, but no, I know a lot of women. I used to work for women partners, and they were together for like 30 years. I just why I say that, because, and I'm glad you brought up their similarities. We'll get into that too. But I want people to know that you guys, women can work together, right? Tell everybody, they can work together.
Absolutely, Bahar. I think you can take this one away.
Well, I think you're right. I think the media and what is out there, like projecting an image of women that it's not fair. Like, look at the reality TV show. Women are a bunch of people that screaming at each other, backstabbing each other. They're jealous, they're catfighting. And that's not true. Actually, speaking of like the historical and the myth, if you look at the beginning of the humanity, women were the one that would stay in a tribe, gather and work together and did teamwork and raise children, while men went out alone, even sometimes hunting. So I think it's in our gene in general, but also it's the image that's been portrayed of us that it's not true. We both are a true believer of believing in people because of who they are, not the gender or anything they identify with. Happen that we both are female and we can work with each other. Great, we can break a stereotype, bring it on. I love that. But I think it's also choosing someone with the personality and understanding and an ability to communicate with you, and filling up all of that is more important than the gender. But also I believe, if you want to go that route, I know many women that work with each other successfully. It's just if we even, and I think, to be honest, it's not only putting it on a male population. I think even female population carry this stigma and idea and like ballooning it up. Oh, I cannot be friends with women. Oh, I cannot work with women and all of that. So I think, let's be fair and honest, it all comes down to who we each are and what we support and what we believe and what we bring into the table. Somebody that cannot do teamwork cannot do teamwork. Somebody that cannot be humble, because honestly, working together, a lot of time, you have to let your ego go. You have to believe that, okay, stepping back and realizing I am projecting something. So I think more than the female or male or any part of that, again, it comes back to personalities and how willing you are and how you match. But I'm glad that it happened. We both are female and we are breaking the stereotype. So yay!
I mean, again, congratulations. So now Schae, I'm going to ask you, was there, when you look back at the 10 years, when you look back at the beginning, because now there's hindsight's 2020, you can look back at stuff. But did you ever, were you guys nervous at all about taking because you were friendship like 10 years before that, you were friends, to take it to the next level? Because you've heard all the stories about business going, friendships dying, families dying because of a relationship. Was there any worry you look back on it now, or was it just like a next step in your relationship?
Well, it's funny because actually Bahar brought the idea to me to start a business, just a business, and I really had never considered it before. It really wasn't in my plan. I was a hotel concierge and I was rising. I had been a chef concierge and a manager, in a hotel, and I was really into that path, so when she brought the idea to me, I was like, what? Why? I have benefits, I have health insurance, I have a steady paycheck. I don't know why I would want to do that.
Real questions, though. Real questions.
Let's jump a cliff. And you're like, yes, let's go.
That's what it is. I did the same thing. I left a corporate job making however much money I was a year with vacation pay and sick days and said, I'm going to give all that up? Really? For something unknown?
But now, looking back, I'm so grateful that we did it, because I might not have that or haven't had that in the past 10 years at, certain points at the beginning when times were tough. But, I'm so grateful that we did take that leap and we decided to do this business together. Did I answer your question? I think I might have lost it.
No, you did. Now, my next thing, because you brought up this a little second ago, you do use social media. And I keep trying to tell people, I'm actually teaching a conference at NAPO next conference about social media podcasting. They accepted my proposal.
Yay, congratulations.
Thank you. I've taught at a couple of regional ones, but this is my first. I've been speakers at different chapters. I love all the chapters. But I keep trying to encourage people, social media is free. It's out there. It's it can be a resource, but I know it's daunting and scary. You ladies are on there, especially on Instagram. You are on there posting stuff. So is that Bahar's doing? Now I'm listening to you. Is that Bahar's doing, or who's?
That is the teamwork, I should say. Okay. I know I do a lot of the branding, the design, which still is a teamwork. I design it, Schae, and I decide if it's gonna go out or not. Okay. We have team members that are working on our social media. When it comes to video, one person recording it, because we have a big presence on YouTube channels.
Yeah, you do. I know, yeah.
We have our Mission2 TV, more than 1 million views and all of that. So it comes, I edit the video, but somebody else writes the script, maybe somebody else is videographic. So it is, at the beginning, I have to say it was only us, like everything else. We were doing the social media, the organizing, everything possible. I think there were days Schae and I were working 18, 19 hours.
I know those. Anybody watch this knows those.
Yeah, exactly. It's a part of taking the leap. But I would say, I just want to answer this question while you're going at it, that it's a teamwork. I do have the aspect of designs, picture, branding, and stuff like that. Schae has other aspects of it, but coming together, a lot of time you make decisions together when it comes to that.
Well, I'm just telling you, for me, as a person on social media, I see your stuff. And I keep telling you, that's the important part. I can scream it to the rooftops. I can stand on a corner and with a megaphone, whatever. And some people just, it falls on deaf ears, or it's just really scary. So I'm hoping that little by little change, people see this, maybe they'll change their minds a little bit, because it can be useful. I mean, it's not.
Oh, nowadays it's necessary. It's not even a question of being or having.
I agree. I totally agree. Yes, Schae.
So James, I just want to mention that I was the marketing director for the NAPO Chicago chapter for I think 5 years in the past. I'm now the vice president, but and I think oftentimes people make it out to be more difficult than it really is. Like, you don't have to, everything doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to like crop the picture perfectly and spend an hour writing the post, you know, just like take a selfie of yourself and, or what, you know, you and your team and like what you're doing, or a drawer that you're working in, and just say something about it. Like, you're already an expert in this. Just talk about it like you would with your friend or with your client, and don't make it be such a big deal. And the other thing that I would recommend is using scheduling tools. That really helps. Now they have like robust scheduling tools that you can just sit down and do a bunch of them at one time instead of having to agonize over it every single day, you know? So that would be a few of my suggestions.
Go ahead. First, go first.
Go ahead. Sorry, I just want to add one more thing about as coming back to the first question, that one of like, you know, one of a million qualities that Schae brings. She's really good at being consistent about things. Because if it was up to me, maybe I would do one post today and I'd be like, okay, next week, or would do 10 posts today and then not do for 1 week. So that's one of another thing that is strong with us. I came to Schae and I was like, we need to do video, we need to do blog posts, but she's the one that made sure that every month we did video, every month we did blog posts. So that being there and also choosing the platform. I think it's too busy out there that you have to choose which one you want to be on. And that's another thing that we sat together and we say, okay, this is not our platform. This is not what's going to work for us. So just don't spread yourself too thin. That would help as well.
I'm going to say that's good advice. But I'm going to go back to Schae and say that is, people need to listen to what she said. It's very.
I told you she's the list maker.
No, because I'm a list person too. Everybody knows I'm a list person. I can't help it. But no, the thing is, there's tools out there. Like for me, if I go, James, how do you do 10,000 things? Well, there's days where I have content creation days where you just take one day and you create the content and you schedule it out. So it looks like I'm every day doing something. I mean, I am in a way, but I'm not working on that. Just I scheduled it last week. You know, when I do this interview, I will put it up, I will schedule it, it's done. I mean, you know, it's just kind of like, it's just nowadays there are ways that you can do this that it's not super intrusive of your time. You can work this out. So you're not every day trying to create something. And even if you are, again, like you said, it doesn't have to be anything magical. It's just like for example, I'm on TikTok and I have a series called How to Get Super Organized Under a Minute. They'll give you a minute long. I think it's people out there, any organizer listening to this, maybe you should try that because you literally have a minute. And so that forces you to think of something to do in a minute. And it's a huge hit on TikTok and there's others like me, which is like, it's just quick little things that like you said, we're the experts. Schae and Bahar are the expert. I'm the expert. We can just break it down. You're the expert out there. If you're an organizer watching this or listening to this, you're the expert. Just pick something quick and then put it out there.
That's awesome that you do that 1 minute thing. We actually just recently started doing 2 minutes with Mission2Organize.
Oh, I like that.
Right?
I like that.
So, just like a 2-minute video. We just talk about like one little tip, one little thing that you can do, and it's 2 minutes and you're done. Boom.
Right. And
people post it.
People have a short attention spans. They like quick now. They like quick. That's smart. I like that. That's very, very smart. Okay, tell me why, you know, I've had many folks from Chicago, Naples, Chicago on my show. But can you tell me why Naples, Chicago is very decorated? It's very, 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 very decorated. When I heard about you, I was very excited. Can you tell folks why you guys are just like chapter of this and that? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on. Why is Naples, Chicago so great?
Schae, go ahead.
Wow. Yeah.
You tell me, Schae. You're vice president. You tell me.
Yes. So I think honestly, it's the volunteers. So as I mentioned, I was the marketing director for 5 years. I've been the VP for 2 years. And the only way that we could make it happen is not only with the volunteers who are on the board, but the entire membership. I mean, everybody really goes out of the way to be a greeter at the door, at the meetings, to host Zoom meetings, as we're doing a lot now, you know, to be a social chair and, you know, organize social events. And we take a lot of pride in our volunteers. We just did our volunteer appreciation. We created a video, and as you see the names scroll, I mean, we have a big chapter. Obviously, we're in a big like metro area, but I mean, a majority of our membership is volunteering and participating in one way or another. So I think that's really the only way that we could have made this chapter of the year possible this year in 2020.
Yeah.
Sadly, we weren't at conference to get on stage and have our big moment, but we had our little like Facebook Live moment. So
When I heard that, I did cheer for you guys. When I heard, I said, I like Chicago, and I love the Chicago chapter, and a lot of folks that I was talking to were saying the same thing. I have a close friendship with the Pittsburgh chapter because I was from Pittsburgh, and the chapters in Texas. I've done things with them, and of course LA. But I really do have an affinity for the Chicago chapter. Everybody I've ever met there is super nice and dedicated to affecting change in the world. I mean, this is what we do, right? You know, we're here. We're not just throwing stuff out. We're not just moving this thing over here. It's much bigger than that, isn't it, Bahar? We're actually working mentally and physiologically, right?
I always say that to people. It was actually very shocking to me. To be honest, when I started being an organizer, I thought the same thing, that it's all about creating efficient system and all of that.
Little boxes with stuff in them. Oh, we're done.
Exactly. And it is. There we create harmony and peace and all of that for people who are really needing it. We give them time and save them money and time and all. But it was even shocking to me. And that's what one of my speeches for any newcomer to our business, anybody that starts organizing with us, I always give them this speech that do not come if you are not a compassionate person. If you are, because you're gonna end up being the person there holding hands, hugging out cries and helping people through their life changes, being a good change or being a bad change, or not even bad, but just, you know, another chapter of life. Losing a loved one, divorces, marriages, moving on. And I have to say, within my second appointment, I actually realized that it's not only just boxes and containers store and organizing. It's listening, it's being compassionate, it's helping you. We become their people. Like, honestly, we still get email from our clients from 10 years ago that let us know, oh, you know, since you helped me to organize my house, I lost weight, I got married, I did this. So it's very rewarding. Actually, it's very much rewarding, but you have to be that person. It's, you know how some people can be caregiver or not, or some people, you have to have that personality of being a good listener, but at the same time, being able to influence and push people and help them to move forward and take the next step. And honestly, it's just, it's a gift keep giving, I would call it that. And I did not know that. At the first, I thought, okay, it's like, you know, I'm designing something and you know, printing it in a publication and it's done. It's not. It's very much emotional work, and you need to be a therapist as well as a friend, as well as a motivator, as well as all of that together to be able to achieve the goal. And that's actually made it more interesting for us to continue in this business and be there for people. And we have clients that literally consider us as their friends, and we are happy and we are proud of that. So I have to say, yes, it's not only about the boxes and the fancy, what you see on the magazines. It's a lot of hard work, really hard work, and also compassion and all of the other things that you have to educate yourself and make yourself mentally strong to be there and be prepared for the situation.
Yeah, I've been a surrogate boyfriend, son, ex-husband, husband, you know, friend, cousin. I mean, like I've been a surrogate assistant. I mean, I've been, in many ways, there are times when I've had to emotionally, I mean, you know, obviously not get super into their business, but like just be someone, I may represent something to them as I'm in their home or in their office. And I respect that. I always tell when I come on, I respect your space. I respect your space. And they're like, what does that mean? I'm like, you'll see what I'm saying in a second as we get started. Now, I respect you, of course, but that means an extension, I respect your space. And that means whatever you're going through emotionally and also the physical stuff. I mean, if this, these are left-handed scissors, I'm left-handed. These scissors are very important to you. I may look at them as scissors, but when I come into your home, it's an extension of you. So I don't treat them as scissors. I go, okay, what would you like to do with these? What would you like to do with these? And if they say my grandmother gave them to me over the, the Mayflower or something, I'm not going to throw them out because I look at them as scissors. So I respect your space and your stuff. That's kind of what I mean by that. I love for folks.
And I have to say, actually, we've been inspired by our clients too, by their courage for coming forward and allowing us to their space. We always say that. And also we run on a very non-judgmental base. There is no judgment. We are good at something or not. We fall behind sometimes. Like those two things are very important. As you said, respect, it came to my mind that we are very non-judgmental and as well, very inspired by even the courage of like the first phone call to allow a stranger come to your house and help you with your situation, making the best better or even making better, whatever the situation is.
Looking back at tickets, again, it's about 10 years. Schae, have you ever had to fire a client?
Yes.
How difficult is it? How difficult? I'm not going to ask their business. I mean, I don't get all the tea. But I was curious, what's that? I mean, because people ask me all the time, how do you fire a client? How do you let a client go? Like, just kind of tell me a little bit what the process, I mean, how hard or easy that is for you. I mean, just like, how is that for you?
I don't honestly think it's ever easy to do that because, your mentality when you first start your business is, I need more clients, I need to find clients, I need to get more clients, I got to keep my clients,
Yes.
And so I think there's some point where you're like, okay, I'm not going to be pushed around anymore because some people will try to push you if they can. And just the one person that I'm thinking of in particular that we had to fire, when we came to her, she specifically said, I like to hire organizers. I hire a lot of organizers. So yes. So she had a lot of people in her back pocket, before she hired us. And, it got to the point where she was crossing boundaries, asking us to do things that weren't within our realm, or maybe ethical, things that were outside of our scope. And, we were kind of like, okay, well, the way we built our business was we wanted to be everything to everybody, right? We do home, office, moving, we do party planning, we do errand running, we wanted to be like a one-stop shop. But there's a certain point where you have to draw the line. And I think the line was drawn when she would be texting us at like midnight, 1 a.m. and expecting an immediate response and then not speaking to us respectfully. And I just went to Bahar one day and I said, I want to fire this client. Like I can't, because I'm the one that, was answering the phone calls and the text messages and like having to deal, with that kind of stuff. And she supported me 100% and said, if that's the way you want to go, that's fine. And actually it was a pretty easy conversation. I think maybe because she had all these other organizers in her back pocket, I simply said, I think it's time for you to use one of your other organizers.
Yeah, good. No, you have to treat people. You have to treat people how to treat you, and you also have to have boundaries set up. Especially, this is a business, first of all, and the lines can get a little blurry anyway. And even in the best circumstances, when you're working with someone in their homes and stuff, in their personal space. So yes, I that's why I mentioned I always have to sign. Well, we had to fire somebody. I had to too a couple of times, not very much, only a couple of times. Yeah. And it becomes not easier, but just when you have systems in place and you have things, we have a code of ethics. If you're with NAPO, you have a code of ethics. If you're on your own, you should have a code of ethics. And you can really you can lean on that, especially for a lot of stuff. Like I just don't do that. That's just not part of what we do.
Well,
James, sorry, I'm like, speaking of list, Schae blacklist them. That's what she does.
I would just say that. I mean, after we're done. I mean, but I see you were shaking an agreement, Schae. I was about saying that you have to have a code. You have to have something that's the backbone of what you will or will not do. You have to.
Well, James, I was just going to say it's a little different now because we have employees, right?
Oh, yeah.
So one of our main priorities is protecting our staff.
Yes.
And we never want them to be exposed, you know, to any indiscretions or make them feel, if anyone makes them feel uncomfortable or says anything you know, derogatory or whatever, we're very, very, very protective of our girls and our staff, and we have their back 100%.
Yeah, I believe it too. I believe it. But no, we're gonna duke it out. We don't say you don't mistreat our girls. We don't do that. But you have to have this stuff in place. You just kind of have to at this point, because you just never know what you'll walk into. Most of the time, it's fine. I don't scare anybody who's like thinking about this. Most of the time, it's great. But like any industry or business, some things come up sometimes, and you have to have things in place to protect yourself and others and your staff. How is your staff doing these days? How are they doing? Especially with all this COVID stuff, I'm sure you guys had to maneuver your way through this. I don't know how it is in Chicago. I know in LA it's just crazy, but I don't know how it's in Chicago.
Bahar, you want me to go?
Go for it.
Yeah, we've been working actually throughout the pandemic. We are very, very grateful. We had maybe like 1 month, you know, that was pretty slow. And I think that's at the beginning when like people were a little freaked out, you know. But we're very thankful to be in a city like Chicago. Unfortunately, Chicago gets a bad rap sometimes. But, you know, we still are a small Midwestern town, as we like to think of ourselves. And everyone here is very, very respectful. Anytime I'm out on the street taking a walk or going to the store, everyone has a mask on. There's no question. There's no, you know, and so we were able to control the pandemic pretty quickly. And we also put into place a lot of procedures and processes for our staff, and we communicated that to all of our clients.
Okay.
Whether that was on social media, on our website, or in our confirmation emails, to let them know that we're protecting ourselves and we're protecting you, so that they could feel confident booking an appointment and knowing that they're safe doing so. So honestly, I hate to say it, but we've been doing better this year than we did last year.
Wow.
I know, right?
Wow, that's interesting.
So grateful.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. No. Well, you know, I always say, out of tragedy and crisis, sometimes beauty is born. New things are born. You know, I'm in LA where Hollywood shut down, so now we had to find ways to be creative, and this is one of them. I decided I'm actually doing better than ever. Also, I mean, it's just kind of crazy. It was rough the first couple of months, like everybody says, because we know what's going on and they're trying to get things in place. But and it's funny because I don't do very much actual organizing, but recently some of my longer term clients have called because they trust me, and I have gotten tested because of other things that I do. And I have proof. So I've been getting some actually organizing clients. The first time in 5 months I did my first organizing. And it was so much fun. I loved it.
you missed it, right?
I missed it. I did. I was like, I missed it. Because like you guys, I'm mostly in the office. I'm doing stuff like, oh, that was kind of fun being with them and actually hands-on. It was so, I mean, I was like, I didn't being out the house, of course, I'm in home, but yeah, so I kind of, I mean, a lot of folks are complaining, and I'm like, I understand your complaints. I feel for them, but I'm like, I'm actually doing okay for the most part. I mean, I can't go everywhere I want to go, but there's some inconveniences. But yeah, I'm actually doing okay. I'm like, I feel like you guys.
Yeah.
Say that. I don't want to say that, but I'm actually doing fine. And a lot of us, if you're watching this, this is kind of inspiration for you. That depending on where you are and what you're doing, you might be okay. It's okay. You might just have to find your groove through this. I'll ask Bahar this because it's 10 years. 10 years. You have like a crazy moment? Any crazy? Well, she's laughing already. But there's like one crazy moment you think back, you just start thinking, oh yeah, remember when that happened?
Oh my goodness, which one I should go with?
Say, pick one. I love that you guys are laughing. But like,
we always talked about we should write a book about the confession of an organizer. Because you know, as an organizer, you see everything and you're almost in every space and all of that. Oh my goodness, I'm like, which one?
Well, as you're laughing,
what is okay to say on your channel?
I mean, as long as there's no cussing, you don't give any names out, we're good. You can do it. You can say whatever you want. I'm thinking.
I just put it this way. we were sitting together with a group of other organizers and we're comparing the stories. And we realized that we always end up with the clients with, you know, a lot of like, I don't know, sex toy situation.
Oh,
or
okay.
like
Well, okay.
organizing their, you know, their weed and stuff. And every other organizer was like, what? So it's one of, I have a lot, but one of the one I really like, we were helping this lady to organize her house that she used to work as at a very famous sex toy shop in Chicago. So she had a lot of discounts and we're buying a lot of stuff. So she had pile and like container and container. So I was in the other room doing something else. I walked into the room and there it is, Schae sitting in the middle of like, I think over 100, 150 sex toy, organizing them based on latex, glass, you know. So, and I just love that about us, to be honest, that we didn't even like honestly, it's not even a big deal for us. Like, there's no judgment, there's no batting an eye. It was just, the image was what crazy to me, not the fact that it was. The fact that I'm walking from another room coming to this room and like, you know, this happening. I think we should have a list of that when people ask us, because there's, as soon as I hang up this conversation, I'll be like, I should have told that a story and I should have told that a story. But it's always like, I would say, nothing has been crazy that you haven't found a real skeleton in a closet. But minus that, we have found everything you can imagine.
No, that's why I bring it up, because I'm here in LA. I've run across sex toys and things because you're in people's rooms. I mean, you're in their.
Yeah, and as I said, it's not that part that is judgment.
No, it's not that. It's just that, yeah.
It is the image that you walk into. Like, I'm in the other room and thinking Schae's organizing a bookshelf, and also that I'm walking in. Like, that is what shocks us, not what we see or what we find. We all are adults. We all have adult clients, and it's their life, whatever they want to do with it. We are absolutely, and I think maybe that's why actually we've decided in that group that we were sitting that we come as across our branding and everything we are, that we don't have that judgment. So when they're looking for someone, when they see us, they're like, oh, these two would be fine. This company would be okay with this.
That's a big deal. That's why I asked, because I want people to know, because I have people who aren't organized who watch the show too, that we don't care. I mean, it's all elbows and knees to me. It seems like, anyway. It's just like you see all kinds of stuff that we have your privacy intact. We're not here really. We're not invested to judge on your image. We're laughing because, like I said, the imaging is kind of funny. But here in LA, I work with some famous Hollywood clients. We have all kinds of stuff I've seen that I can't mention.
It is really like no judgment or whatsoever.
It's like we don't. It's like the whole point is we're trying to get you organized.
Exactly. We organize it for you. Schae is famous for being covered in pet ashes. That's another thing that is funny.
Really? Oh my goodness.
She always finds this hidden
I always find it, and then I'm like, what is this? And I open it.
Oh my goodness.
So
this is my cat, Sir Lewis, by the way.
Oh, he loves Sir Lewis.
I love Sir Lewis. No,
so that's another thing we always laugh about, because she goes like, what is this thing? And it comes out. We had a client that she said, we probably never seen this before, and we haven't, that when they got married and her husband came to her house, they combined the house, he started living in a bathroom. So we were finding in a bathroom, and we were like, why there is an artichoke jar, or why there is a like suit hanging in a bathroom? And they're a young couple, fun, very sweet and nice. And she goes, I bet you never saw this one before. He thought there's no space for him, so he took over the second bathroom. So, you know, there's up and down of lots of stories. But what it comes down to, honestly, is, you know.
Well, the thing is, you know, our jobs aren't boring. If you're thinking about a career in organizing, you'll never be bored. I mean, that's the one thing, you'll never be bored. And every job, and even within the job, every time you go, it's different. Every session, every hour, every day you do it, it's a different. That's why I love it. That's why I love this business so much. I can't even tell you. I can scream how much I love this business, and I've been doing it for 11 years. And I love it, and I just think these are examples of kind of like everything you talk about today are examples of how this business can really affect change in you and in others, also gonna be kind of fun and funny, and it's not just some like, oh, I gotta organize a closet today. No, it's like I gotta organize a closet today, and it could be who knows what's gonna be in there, what we're gonna see, and what we're gonna do, and how we're gonna make it functional for them. And I'm like a Pollyanna, I guess. I get excited about stuff. I just want this all day long. That's why I have a show like this.
Right.
So I just love organizing. I do. I love organizers. You both are just wonderful. And as we end this, I can talk to you guys forever, but you don't want to watch 2 hours of us talking. I really do. I want to add, it's just, what is your message to other organizers? I guess, any message you guys about Mission to Organize, that is your mission to organize. That's why I love that. Just go, what last words you just have to say to other organizers out there who are trying to make their businesses work?
I'll pass the closing to Schae. Schae, go ahead.
Yeah, I have to say, just really stick with it, because honestly, when we started this business, I could never imagine that it would get to where it is today. I never thought that it would build to what we have right now with, 6 staff members and, this great client base and constantly working. And I never imagined that. So just stick with it, keep at it. I know honestly that at the beginning, it's really, really hard because, as Bahar mentioned, you do everything by yourself, but that won't always be the case. And don't be afraid to take the step to, hire an administrative assistant or a virtual person to help you with some of the things that you don't necessarily need to do. Because I was, maybe not Bahar, but I was afraid to take that step at the beginning. And once we took that step is when everything started to change. So take that step and stick with it. And soon enough, you'll have 10 years under your belt too.
And join your local NAPO chapter and join NAPO National. I'm gonna say that because I think that I've been a NAPO member for 6 years, and I just like the education, leadership. I've had all the presidents on the show, the last 6 presidents on the show, current. I just think it's also great for the friendships I've made. And I have 2 friends here now, friendships I've made. We've talked online before this. But friendships, the camaraderie, because we're all like these little spinning satellites on our own doing our business. So when you're part of something big, it kind of groups you into a family. It's a group effort. And I can call anybody anywhere in NAPO, and if I have a question, they will answer. And that's what I like about that.
And join a SIG. Join a SIG. They're really, really helpful. I'm in the multi-person business SIG and the moving and relocation SIG, and I get so much good information from those SIGs. So don't miss out on those. You get 2 free with your membership.
And basically, what you guys are saying is, which I agree with, is it's never a problem to ask for help or look for help or look for camaraderie. So there's nothing wrong with that. Be part of something.
Exactly.
Ladies, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you. And don't forget to check us out on our website, Mission2Organize.com. And we're on Facebook, Instagram, and check out our YouTube channel. We have over 1 million views and over 100 videos, and we'd love to have you as our subscriber.
And I will have all that information in the description, of course. You guys can go ahead and just look and either type it or whatever. You can look at it and go straight to them. Please subscribe to them, follow them. They put stuff out all the time. It's great content. I follow them. I comment. They comment on my stuff. We comment. So you can see me on there too. I'm on there also. So check them out. And if you're in the Chicago area and need some assistance, please go to Mission to Organize and say hello to my friend Mackenzie Scott, who just had a birthday recently. We love Mackenzie. Her episode's on this program too. You can go and look at that episode also, or listen to it. And with that, I can be found everywhere where James Lott Juniors are sold, at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. I'm not even kidding. And JLJ Media is on every platform, and so is the Super Organizer. It's on every platform. My website is alotofhelp.com. This podcast is audio and video. So if you're listening to this, hello, podcast listener. Thank you for listening to it. And we're on every streaming service you can think of, from iHeartRadio to Spotify to Google, Apple, just all over the place. And then the video version, last but not least, it's on the granddaddy of them all, YouTube. And it's on my YouTube channel, JLJ Media. I have over 30 shows on the network. ranging from soap operas to Star Wars. So anything in between. So you may find something that you might like, but many of these episodes will be on there also. Share it with people if they need to hear this. Share it with people who want to look for organizers or they heard of Mission2Organize. Share with people. That is JLJ Media on YouTube. The subscribe button, I think down here, or it's down here, or somewhere this way. I always point wrong. I know, it's like I always point wrong. And so it's a red box. It says subscribe. So go and subscribe. So subscribe to them, subscribe to me, and we'll all be good. And everyone, please stay safe as you can. Have compassion for each other. Get organized.